February.
Yeah, and Chris has played it ad nauseum, and now we're seeing. Well, he's not playing ad nauseum, but he's played it quite a bit.
Watch your words in this format.
Gotta be very careful what I say. He's played it quite a bit, and so it'll be interesting to see how Reuben does with it. Let's see what differences has he changed from Chris's list, or maybe he's just using Chris's exact list. I don't know. His list looks almost exactly the same. He's got Phyrexian Metamorph in the sideboard. That's a new one. Tabernacle at Pendervale. That's a new one.
Metamorph's a great answer to Emrakul and Progenitus. You know, they show and tell. You put it in. They both, you know, legend rule. You know, they even natural order Progenitus. It doesn't target. You just put it into play. Let's see. Yeah, Tabernacle is awesome against some of the creature decks that are popping up.
Yeah, seems pretty good. 61 cards in the main deck. Worth noting. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's the Energy Field Blue deck. For those who don't know how the Energy Field Blue deck works, basically it's just a mono blue control deck. It's just gonna wretch control the game, counter all your spells, and then gain control in the long game.
Eventually kill you with Jace or Vendalink. Like
usually Jace.
And for those of you who don't know what the card Energy Field does, 1 in a blue enchantment, prevents all damage that be dealt to you, and whenever a card is put into your graveyard, sacrifice it.
So the game's already a little underway here. We have Matt with an Underground C. Oh, it looks like we were given the wrong deck list here. So Matt is not playing No Rug. He's playing something else entirely.
That is actually Matt McCullough, not Matt McCullum, I believe. He is playing Blue-Black Reanimator.
The Into
my
gives
list,
it away.
Actually.
You know him.
Yeah, he's from Ann Arbor as well.
Oh, there you go. So you can probably just tell us his list, right?
He has, Entomb, 11 reanimation spell. It's somewhere between Eli Casis's and Kyle Kloster's list. 4 reanimate, 4 Exhume, 3 animate deads, 4 Entomb, 4 careful study, 4 brainstorm. I don't remember if we were at 2 or 3 ponders, 3 Jingataxis, Iona, Sphinx of Steelwind. I think it was Angel of Despair. I'm trying to remember what the actual other targets were. Let's see. I think there's a Platinum Angel in there too.
This is going to be an issue for Reuben Bresler. Iona on blue.
Yeah, that was pretty standard for the Reanimator deck. Just turn 2, Iona. Reuben can Vidalcan Shackles it.
Yeah, I think
he
that's
can Oblivion Stone it. But beyond that, he can no longer play spells.
But he does have Energy Field in play.
Yes, he does.
So as long as he can keep playing lands, he's not in any immediate danger.
And is it play or hand? I always forget. Is it play or anywhere on Energy Field? Oh. It might be from play.
I don't know. If you discard, Energy Field goes away.
Matt has a Jingataxis in play. This game is likely going to end with him having Platinum Angel, Jingataxis, and Angel of Despair, and Iona in play. Angel of Despair and killing Energy Field and...
Oh, and Reuben actually has to discard his hand to Jingataxis, which will break the Energy Field.
Oh, or that happens. Yeah, it's... and it's over. Okay.
All right. That was a pretty quick first game.
Pretty standard game for Reanimator. Oh, Matt took out the Platinum Angel in his... No, Platinum... He had a Platinum Empyrean from it. He's playing 2 Ionas, 3 Jingataxis, a Sphinx of the Steel, and a Platinum Angel. That was probably after talking to another player from locally who he goes by Master Shake on the source forums, Christopher Walton. He was talking about playing a second Iona, and the Platinum Angel was also his idea. Interestingly, he doesn't have a main deck answer to a permanent. That usually isn't a huge issue. He also has Thoughtseize in the main deck, which was not on the list when I was working with it before, but it's a fine addition. He has the signature Arilax 2 Underground Seas for all these blue-black combo decks. Just never, ever, ever, ever want to get Wasteland when you don't have to be.
We were talking about this the other night, actually, how you were like, people just play way too many dual lands.
I know, it's just... They don't understand the concept of, like, you just have more fetches, and you can fetch a dual when you want to. And when you don't want to, you fetch a basic. And it's just the worst. Like, you have 4 Underground Seas in your deck, you just look at your opening hand, your lands are like Underground Sea, Swamp, and you're just like, well, I'm going to have to play this Underground Sea. And if they counter my reanimation spell and waste my Underground Sea, I'm just not going to play another spell unless I draw a land. And you're looking at these decks that have 17 lands, and you just cannot reliably, draw out of a Wasteland. So, let's see. Looking at the sideboard, Reuben has a Relic and a Tormod's Crypt to bring in. I don't think a Misdirection is really going to do what he wants it to here. It can change the target, but he doesn't have enough creatures to reliably misdirect the reanimation.
And on Exhume it doesn't even work, right?
Yeah, it does not work on Exhume, but Animate Dead and Reanimate can target both graveyards.
Right.
Tabernacle probably does not matter. paying 1 for your Jinga taxes is probably enough.
Propaganda. To pay.
Propaganda probably doesn't matter. Phyrexian Metamorph could be good though.
Metamorph, definitely. Legend Rule Iona.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is below.
It can Legend Rule Jinga taxes so you don't have to discard your hand. Actually, Metamorph doesn't seem so good anymore now that I think about it. Lawan's probably not that good. He's probably just looking at this Tormod's Crypt and this Relic and seeing where it goes. Maybe Oblivion Stone if he thinks Iona is a huge issue and he won't be able to get Jinga taxes.
So some of it depends on what he wants to take out.
Yeah. Well, looking at the cards he has, Back to Basics isn't actually good in this matchup.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's one of the ones you would cut.
Vidalcan Shackles is way too slow, I think. Maybe you can get to 5 and steal Jinga taxes, but I don't think you want all of them. Looking at Matt's sideboard, he has Show and Tells. I don't think he really wants them for this matchup. That's more for, sometimes there's aggressive decks where Reanimate's bad and they're bringing, they're going to burn you out if you Reanimate. And they're also bringing in Graveyard Hate. So you have Show and Tell. And, that just upgrades Reanimate. You don't have to go through the graveyard. And there's also a personal tutor to go with those just as a 5th copy because you just want that card all the time.
Right.
There's some Thought Seizes and Spell Pierces he's going to bring in probably. There's some Stifles. That was the upgrade to Pithing Needle we came up with. You don't want Pithing Needle because, your Pithing Needle naming Tormod's Crypt, it just doesn't do anything otherwise. But with Stifle, they don't have the Crypt, you can just hit a fetch land or something, hit anything relevant. And he might bring in this Inkwell Leviathan out of the board too, or Terrastodon to kill that energy field.
Yeah, we can definitely see some of those. Although Jinja Taxis does a pretty good job of dealing with the energy field.
Well, this Sphinx of the Steel One and Platinum Angel aren't pretty irrelevant in this matchup, so it's probably better just to upgrade them to Inkwell and Terrastodon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Having Terrastodon around seems important. Also, you don't want to just get randomly Vidalcan Shackles or something, right?
Yeah, Inkwell is probably good enough in this matchup most of the time.
Yeah, Inkwell also too.
Yeah. Reuben actually has Echoing Truth in his deck too, in the main deck, so that's a possible answer that he already has. Let's see, he has a lot of counter spells, but the gist of what everyone, there's 2 opinions on this. Some people have been like, yeah, the Reanimator deck, it's not really good against control because they have all these answers to your guys, but on the other hand, you're just faster than they are. They can't reliably have, spell snares or all their counter spells up by the time you're going off, and your deck has better cantripping, so even though you only have 11 counter spells to their 15, their missteps or their spell snares might not be good against what you're doing. And you have missteps, daze, and force will, and you can just assemble this hand that's better than what they do by turn 2, and just all you need is an end step with Jinka Taxis. That's all you need.
Right. Yeah. And once you get there, you're up 7 cards. Your opponent is down their entire hand.
I mean, even if they kill it on their turn, you're up 7 cards. That's probably enough.
Yeah. I imagine to deal with Jinja Taxis, you pretty much have to kill it right away, which is not always the easiest task.
Yeah.
And if you're a mono blue deck,
that card being printed was really what put Reanimator back on the map. Before it was always like, well, I can play a couple Ionas, but I don't want a million Ionas. I can play a couple of this guy, but I don't really like, who wants multiple Sphinx of the Steel Ones or Platinum Angels, and I'm playing against, Hive Mind. This is an awesome Sphinx of the Steel Win. This is a great Inkwell Leviathan against my Zoo opponent. You really had this issue, without Entomb every game because of Mystical Tutor. You couldn't really find it. Now it's just like, well, I'm just going to put Jinga Taxis into play. I think that's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about Jin that's great is a lot of times, you can maybe reanimate a guy and they would kill it and you'd be like, well, I have nothing now. Yeah. But drawing 7, make sure you can double up if you need to.
The other thing about Jin that's kind of, people always talk about maybe killing yourself with him, but he's just a legend. You should reanimate the second one.
Right, so you don't accidentally deck yourself, right?
And if you really need them to not be able to get back into the game, you can just put this list as a Platinum Angel. So you can just have Platinum Angel Jin in play. It's like draw 7, I'll not lose the game, and you'll not have a hand.
Sure. Just make sure your Platinum Angel doesn't go away and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, curious if the mono blue deck had considered Dismember. It'd be an interesting card for that to play
It definitely would be something interesting for this deck to play around with. It would be an instant speed answer to Jinga Taxis in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Something to think about, but Reuben has not opted for that route. Instead, he's just opted for an Island Go. Thoughtseize from Matt on the first turn.
Brainstorm in response.
And that is a good time to use a Brainstorm. According to AJ Soccer, that is an appropriate Brainstorm.
Yes.
So,
looks like Reuben got another Brainstorm off that one.
Yep. Now, the way this works, he just gets to hide whatever 2 cards he wants to keep the most.
It's probably Brainstorm and something else that's not Brainstorm.
Yeah, seems likely. Let's see. I'm looking at his hand. I see a lot of lands, ton of islands. I see another Brainstorm. I think it's Spell Snare. That's what he's hiding. Brainstorm, Spell Snare. So we're gonna see what else he has. So Brainstorm, Spell Snare on top, with Brainstorm on the top, I believe. The rest of his hand is Freshly Metamorph, Vendilion Click, and 4 islands.
I think he might have wanted. I guess in this, I'm used to other combo decks where Vendilion Click's a lot better, but it might be that Vendilion Click's better than Spell Snare. I don't really know if Reuben's going to be able to fight this game really well. He doesn't have a lot of the tools he needs. I think Vendilion Click's going to go here, and that leaves him with, he does have a fetch land. He can Brainstorm again, so he could have anything, but Matt's deck does have Mental Misstep, so he could just do the same thing all these other decks are trying to do to the combo decks and just Mental Misstep the Brainstorm and make them fumble.
Yeah, I mean, Spellstorm does hit 7 of Matt's reanimation spells, but he could still reanimate.
Or just have a second one.
Just have a second one.
Or daze it, or whatever. Or not daze, but, misstep it, anything.
Right. There's a Ponder from Matt McCullough.
Yep.
And Reuben is thinking about brainstorming in response. Now, Reuben has plenty of excess lands he could put back on top and shuffle away if he needed to. So, let's see what he opts to do. Yeah, so he does go for the brainstorm in response. And he's gonna pick up 3 cards to see what he finds. Oh, we'll see if Matt chooses to do anything. And if Matt missteps this brainstorm, okay, Matt's gonna Entomb in response. Now that is a big deal.
Yeah, that sets him up so that any reanimation spell he's gonna have just already has the target.
You just got Iona, right?
Yep. Yeah, probably in this match if you want Iona. Matt doesn't really know what Reuben's doing, probably. He hasn't played nearly as much Legacy as some people might have. Like, the Chris Cronenberger list is not something he's probably considered, and he probably doesn't really think about the Oblivion Stone or anything. You still probably want Iona, but...
Yeah, I mean, locking your opponent off what they're doing is really impressive. Looks like Reuben drew Spell Snare and Metamorph and an Island, I think. I don't think...
He had a Metamorph already. We'll see.
I don't think those Metamorphs are actually that good here.
No, they really aren't.
I think they're a trap. Like, you look at them, you're like, oh, sweet, but...
Yeah, they're definitely a trap. It's like, oh, sweet, I get to kill their Jing attacks after they draw all these cards. Oh, sweet, I can't play them against this Iona.
Yeah. Big issue. I mean, if you think they're going to be show and tell, it's more reasonable. But...
I think that out of other decks, they're probably really bad on a mono blue, but, like, let's say you're, like, mono red burn and you want to kill an Iona for some reason.
Yeah,
Metamorph would do that. Metamorph would definitely do that.
Yeah.
Like Elves or some other similar deck where you're just a monocolor deck. That's another brainstorm for Reuben.
All right, all the brainstorms.
Plays a basic. Doesn't look like he has a fetch.
I don't think he does.
Looks like he has a Vendilion Click.
Well, if you got Vendilion Click, that's coming down now. Or,
Can't really tell.
on Matt's turn.
That might be the Metamorph still. Too many different cards in Legacy.
All right, so Matt draws, and then no Vendilion Click, okay. See.
Brainstorm, Spell Snare, Metamorph, Island, something.
All right, Ponder from Matt McCullough.
Yep.
And I can't really get a good glimpse at Matt's hand. I don't know what he's going for, but I imagine just a reanimation spell at this point, right?
Yeah, or just counter backup.
Yeah.
He might just have a reanimate, assume that Reuben's this big blue control deck with no dazes, and it's just, how many missteps and forcibles can I find in dazes and whatnot.
Right. Matt leaves them there. It's not what Reuben wants to see, I'm sure. When your opponent is like a combo deck and they leave all 3 there.
Yeah. At that point, you just kind of hope that, well, maybe they just don't know what they're doing.
Right, yeah. Just forgot to hit the wrong button on Ponder.
Yeah, exactly. Saw some cards they thought they wanted and didn't.
Huh, yeah. Well... see what Matt chooses to do. I think he plays with Misty Rainforest. We can shuffle away from that Ponder if he wants to.
This looks like a Vendilion Click. Yep.
Yeah. End step Vendilion Click for Reuben Bresler.
I think Matt's debating whether he wants to force a will that or not.
Finally get a good peek at Matt McCullough's hand if that resolves.
He's going to force a will, exiling force a will. Seems like a fair play. Make sure Reuben just has no clock.
Yeah, I think I like that. Especially if he's going to, take your most important card or take your force or something anyway. Yeah. Getting rid of that clock.
Looks like another Spell Snare to go with the Brainstorm. So his hand has 2 Brainstorms, a Spell Snare, and a Metamorph.
Without a clock, it means that Matt can basically set up his combo, take as long as he needs to set it up.
Exactly.
Basically. That's a ton of Brainstorms this game by Reuben Bresler.
Yeah, it's 3.
All the brainstorms.
Not quite. Maybe this one will find the last one.
Yeah.
Matt plays Reanimate. And Reuben's in an awkward scenario here. Brainstorm?
Right. Brainstorm. See what he finds. Looks like Energy Field. Yeah, Energy Field.
Energy Field. There's a Force of Will in there.
Yeah, there's a Force.
And a Counterspell. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was what he needed. He was able to find a way to both deal with the opposing spell on the stack, as well as find a way to make sure he can deal with any other spells or backup that Matt might have access to.
To be fair, Reuben is locked into drawing 2 blanks now, basically.
Yeah. So Matt forces back, and then Reuben's going to force the Force.
Did he pitch?
Not sure what he pitched. But
maybe the Metamorph?
Maybe the Metamorph. But now Reuben just, like I said, he has 2 blanks on top.
He does have Spell Snares, so if Matt has Animate Deads, then they're not blanks, but... Yeah, his hand has 2 Spell Snares. I think he pitched the Metamorph. Matt cracks his fetch.
Yeah, I like that. I think Reuben figured out that Metamorphs aren't that exciting.
No. You can't tell how many cards Matt still has in his hand right now.
I thought he might have had to expend all of them on the last turn. I mean, he forced and reanimated. Like, we'll see if
he had a lot of cards in hand. I think he still has a reasonable grip.
I'll see if he picks anything up.
Well, guess he's just going off the top 2.
Yeah, Matt's off top 2. Looks like Matt pitched Careful Study to Force, and Reuben pitched Energy Field.
Nope, Reuben kept the Metamorph.
Yep. So
he pitched the Energy Field.
Yeah, pitched the Energy Field.
Draws a Counterspell.
Passes. Matt grabs a new card. Now both players are kind of in this rebuild phase, where it's like, well, all right, those are all of our resources. Time to find some new ones. Let's go mine some minerals.
Good old StarCraft references. Need more Vespene gas.
Yeah. But certainly some gas of any variety at this point, Vespene or otherwise. Not a lot going on.
Reuben does have a grip full of counterspells, so...
And the game is getting maneuvered precisely where Reuben wants it to be, where Matt has to be very aggressive now, and Reuben has all the answers. Reuben just has to be able to play enough lands to hold up counter magic when he plays out of Jace, or find Vendilion Click to make sure he can get the game under control.
Well, there was the Vendilion Click, I think. Is that the 3rd one? Yep. Maybe it's not, but...
Hard to tell exactly.
It's very hard to tell right now.
Exactly what's going on in Reuben's hands. We'll see. So if you're Matt McCullough and Reuben Bresler is holding a group full of cards, what is your plan to win this game?
Sit there, get 8 cards to his 7. That's always been the plan for combo versus all the counter spells, right?
The old Affinity trick, Ophidian. Slightly different. The old Ophidian trick.
Yeah, that looks like a Vendilion Click.
Yeah, so V-Click comes down for Reuben Bresler.
Yep. Matt debating whether he wants to force a wolf, probably.
I mean, I think keeping that Vendilion Click off the board is a big deal. All right, so he goes for Entomb, and I don't think Reuben cares at this point. Like,
no.
You can let your reanimation spells resolve.
He might counter this Entomb, I don't know.
I mean, I think Matt already has Iona. What could he be entombing for? That's a big issue.
Something like a Bloodghast or a Vengeful Pharaoh.
Sure.
Maybe a Deep Analysis. The list used to have those. But yeah,
Find a Life from the Loam.
Yeah, something like that.
Get a little crazy. Rebuy some Creeping Tar Pits.
Yeah. This Vendilion Click's probably just going to resolve, and that Entomb will too.
I've wanted to Entomb for Life from the Loam for a long time.
It's just too fair.
Yeah, I mean, and out of all the things you could do, right? Like,
yeah.
What deck is honestly going to need that? Inkwell Leviathan. I mean, in lands, like, Gamble is just better, right?
Yeah. Not necessarily. In lands, if you're playing Entomb, you're going to be playing Dark Confidant too, so.
Man, you take, like, no damage. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. So, it's like more loans. Draw more cards a turn.
I can get down with my Dark Confidant Life from the Loam deck. Now we just have to add, like, Seismic Assault, and we're set. Alright, so that Entomb resolves. Looking at Matt's hand, he sees 2 lands of Thoughtseize and a Jin-Gitaxias.
There
probably
are not
gonna say
actually enough lands to cast the Jin-Gitaxias in Matt's deck. There are only 6 lands that make mana.
well, so much for that plan. I think you just keep them, right?
Yeah.
Like those, you could take the Thoughtseize, but I don't think there's any reason to.
That probably is. It's a card that does something. You know.
Yeah, Samuel on Twitter points out that Matt's already used 3 forces, so he doesn't really have a good way for counter backup.
Yeah, there's the Jace that's probably going to lock this game up for him.
Yeah, the Jace just, oh man, it feels so demoralized when your opponent looks at your top card and leaves it there. I think that's probably what Reuben is going to want to do here.
He does have multiple fetch lands.
Oh, it looks like he's just going to brainstorm.
Yeah, there's an Echoing Truth and a Relic of Progenitus. This is probably too much.
Yeah, I don't think Matt's coming back from this one.
No. Between his hand and the Brainstorm, Reuben had to have the 2 counter spells there, and he did.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, Matt did have 3 Force of Will, so...
Yeah, I mean, you know, Reuben didn't have a lot of action, so he found the action he needed and was able to climb back in the game.
Brainstorm does that. Who would have thought?
Yeah, playing your Brainstorms correctly is huge. If you haven't watched AJ's AJ TV from last week on Brainstorm, I'd really recommend you go do. It's pretty good to watch. Also check out his article Pondering Brainstorm and numerous other Brainstorm-related things that haven't talked about before. It's a really complex card, and getting the most mileage out of it you can is really important. In the meantime, Reuben Bresler just dropped it down Relic of Progenitus and exiled everyone's graveyard.
Yeah, Matt should probably just pack it in as fear.
Yeah, just for time considerations, right?
Exactly.
Or is it better since Reanimator can win quickly and the Mono Blue deck can't?
I don't know. Does Reanimator want to be in the draw bracket though? I know with Stormer was always if you were going to go to time, the best play was try to get them scoop. If they don't scoop, you scoop. I think he's probably just thought seizing and then just going to concede.
Write down the cards, concede.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt writes down the cards. Counterspell, Force of Will, Spell Snare, Echoing Truth.
I've always wanted the Thoughtseize at like 1 life. Look at their hand, and then the game ends. You lose 2 life after.
Yeah.
Say base effects are checked after it resolves.
Yeah. Chris Anderson just handed in his match results. Looks like Elves off to an early 1-0 start here at the Open Series. Love to see Elves do well, especially it's Chris Anderson who's been playing it nonstop.
Did Matt take the Force Will, I believe? I'd assume that's what he took. Yeah, this does not look promising at all. Matt's down to 9 life. I guess this game's not going to go much longer.
Yeah,
it's very
3 hits from
see
the
it out.
replay.
Yeah.
Show and tell.
What? Well, that's a cool side. Oh, wow.
Wow, I didn't think Matt brought those in.
Neither did I.
All right, Jin-Gitaxias.
I still think Reuben wins because of Jace, but...
Yeah, I mean, Matt's going to draw 7 cards.
Yeah. Show and Tell might be really good here because it dodges Spell Snare and Mental Misstep. I did not think about that.
All right, so Matt McCullough draws 7 off Jin-Gitaxias. Yeah, I did not think he would bring in Show and Tell, but Matt McCullough did, and now he's got 7 cards, and he gets a discard step. He can discard a Fatty now and have a boatload of reanimation on the next turn.
Well, he needs to have Terrastodon because anything else immediately gets chased.
Looks like he's also going to brainstorm in his end step before he discards to maybe protect some of the cards he has in his hand.
Maybe just get more options for discarding.
Yeah, I mean, if he needs to discard a reanimation target here, for example, you have to find one.
So Matt casts Wheel of Fortune, and only for him, though. Only for him.
One-sided Wheel of Fortune. Wow. All right, puts 2 cards back. He's going to have to discard. What Matt discards here is going to be pretty important. Discards Iona, Shield of Amera.
Does not matter right now. What he needs is Terrastodon.
Right, because that Jace can deal with that Iona pretty easily.
Yeah.
And there'll be no... Let's see, I look at over his reanimation spells. Reanimate is dead because Matt would die if he reanimated something.
He probably boarded out Reanimate because of Mental Misstep.
And Exhume and Animate Dead are the only other 2 options, and he knows there's the Echo and Truth in Reuben's hand, too.
Oh, that is true. But the Terrastodon... Oh, No, Terrastodon doesn't matter there, because he just kills the Jace. He has to do it this turn, though, so he can have another turn where he gets back the Iona, and then... Did Reuben not bounce? His hand looks too full for him to have bounced.
Possible he's just going to... yeah, it looks like he's putting 2 cards back.
Maybe he's Echoing Truthing it.
Possibly he's just going to Echo and Truth the way that Jin-Gitaxias.
I don't know why he brainstormed, though.
All right, Echoing Truth back into Texas. Yeah, I think bouncing is just a really safe play. Right?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so Matt's gonna fetch out a Underground Sea here with his fetch land. Shuffle away the 2 cards on top.
Yep, going to 5.
Let's see. So what 7 cards would Matt need to have in his hand to be able to pull ahead this game? Ari.
Let's see. He has a lot of cards. He just needs, the first thing he needs is Terrastodon. Oh wow, this could be backbreaking too. That is a force of will on that Echoing Truth, and that means that Jace is gonna die if this resolves. Reuben does have the counter spell. Matt has the Spell Pierce, which presumably means that he also has the Daze. No, he does not. Okay. Matt has all of his lands in the deck in play.
Wow.
So Matt needs Terrastodon and to get a flyer into play. Matt is at 4. Yeah.
All right. Can we find Terrastodon?
He has a turn where Reuben is tapped out.
Reuben's tapped out. Now it's just a matter of if Matt can do what he needs to do. All right, goes for Ponder. Good start to a fundamental turn. Can't quite make out the 3 cards you found there. Shuffles them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What he wanted was not there.
He needs to put a Terrastodon and a flyer into play this turn. So he needs to have Entomb and 2 reanimation spells that cost 2. Or a Show and Tell and a reanimation spell that costs 2 and the Terrastodon in his hand.
First, got some options.
Yeah. He's not dead, but he's behind.
And the Videli Click will serve over for 3. All right, so careful study.
He has to draw the Terrastodon now. He could also get Platinum Angel into play if he still has it in his deck, and then get Terrastodon into play off of Reanimate.
Alright, so discard Ginger Taxis and something else.
I don't think this is going to end well for Matt.
Yeah, I think Matt fought a valiant battle. I assume I think you can find the Ginger Taxis, but I don't think that's going to be good enough.
He does have one more turn to get this guy into play, but next turn he's going to have to fight through a wall of counter magic.
Yeah.
He might be able to put back Iona and Jigataxis. Nope.
Yep, can't do it.
Yeah.
So Matt just have to pass the turn. Draw 7 new cards. So Matt should have tons of options, but oh, rough.
Yep.
Thought maybe Matt was gonna be able to, like you said, get Terrastodon on that turn, but he wasn't able to. Goes for another brainstorm, just like last time. Looking to dig a little deeper, find other cards to discard, put 2 cards you might want to keep back.
Yeah. Or at least one that you want to draw next turn.
Right.
He does have an next turn, so we'll see.
And on.
Yeah. I like when you have so many cards in hand that you lay down the cards that you want to keep. Yeah. Instead of which ones you want to discard.
Huh. Very interesting choice. He's trying to sculpt the perfect hand here.
He discards a Spell Pierce. Interesting.
Wow. Reuben has to be a little scared about that.
Yeah, that means Matt's hand is probably pretty stacked. Reuben's hand is pretty good as well with 3 Spell Snares and a counterspell, and Matt has to fight through all of those because Reanimate is not a live card anymore. Nope. Matt goes to 1 life, Jace bounces Jingataxis.
Alright, does Matt have it? And by it, I don't really know. I mean, it'd have to be find a way to discard.
He has to put Terrastodon and Iona in the play.
Brainstorm's a start. Draws 3 cards and packs them in. Alright, player's gonna try and get into game 3 here.
Yeah. This definitely favors Matt on the play.
So how do you feel about show and tell then? Do you think you board those out? Do you think that was a one-trick pony?
No, I think that's fine in this matchup. Like, Vendilion Clique's kind of obnoxious, but, you know, it's really nice that the card dodges Mental Misstep and Spell Snare.
And then, if you're Reuben Bresler, do you think you want to keep in your Phyrexian Metamorphs?
It's possible because of that you do.
Because with show and tell, Metamorph is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. It's kind of an interesting little dance there. Metamorph's completely dead against Reanimation, but show and tell's better against the counter spells.
Yeah. So what do you choose to do? I think Reuben might end up taking out the Metamorphs. But it looks like Matt to do really any sideboarding there.
No. I don't know. Looking at his deck, there's not too much you really want to board out necessarily. Yeah, Reuben had all 3 of his spell snares in his hand at the end of the game. There was no way Matt was going to force through Reanimation spell.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Matt had a 1-turn window and
didn't have it there.
Yeah, no good.
Yeah. You could have just had Terrastodon, killed Jace, killed 2 of his lands, then untapped and put Iona in on the next turn, but even then that would be a struggle.
Yeah, getting Iona to play on the next turn would not be easy.
Yeah.
All right, so going to game 3, you said